Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Solve It Team series. My name is Kristen.
And my name is Audra. Thank you everyone for being here. We have with us a team of 3 unstoppable girls, Mia, Taya, and Zuri. Do you guys all want to say hi?
Hi.
It's so great to have you guys here. Can you maybe take a moment to introduce yourselves and what your role is on Team Unstoppable? Zuri, how about we start with you?
My name is Zoe. I'm 11 years old, and my role on Unstoppable is to do like the feedback reflection part of the app.
I'm Taya. I'm 11 years old, and my part of Unstoppable is kind of bringing new ideas to the table and having that inspiration.
I'm Mia. I'm 10 years old, and my part in the app is like doing the coding and like bringing it up and gathering the feedback.
Wow, you guys all have very important roles on your teams. Thank you so much for being here again. And
Thanks for having
all
us.
you viewers at home, today we're going to be talking about how to get and use feedback. So as you can tell, we have the experts here with us, and you can think about how to use feedback for anything, right? For today, we'll be talking a little bit about how to improve a project, but it could even be something that would be applied to improving ourselves. But before we get into that, I think it would be great for all of us to start by getting to know each other a little bit better. So I'm going to turn it over to Audra for an icebreaker.
All right, so last week, Natalie Cook joined us and told us all about the importance of surrounding yourself with positivity, really believing in yourself. And so I have a little activity that I'd like for us to try so that we can get to know each other and ourselves a little bit better and all the things that make us awesome. So first things first, we need to make sure that everyone has some paper and something to draw with. If you have paper and pencil, that's fine. But if you have something with some color, that's even better. Everyone who's at home, you should totally be doing this too. So does everyone have what they need?
Yeah,
all right,
set.
Cool. Nice. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're going to think about what our superpowers are. What are the things that are best about us, that we're super good at, and we're gonna draw superhero selfies. So draw yourself as a superhero with that superpower, and we gotta draw it kind of fast because it's a live stream. So we're gonna take a couple minutes. Everyone at home, again, you should totally do this. Is everyone ready?
Yeah.
All right, cool, let's go. And if anyone needs some background music, I've had the Doug theme song stuck in my head. So here goes.
Oh, nice.
Do you guys even know what Doug is? You probably don't know what Doug is.
Doug is
no, they have no idea what Doug is. Kristen, you know what Doug is, though.
I know what Doug is. I do know what Doug is, and I love cartoons, so that's even better to hear the music playing.
The one episode that sticks in my head was the episode where I think there was a band called The Beats, and it was like the Vegetable Beats, something like that. It had to do with beats and music. That's the one that I remember. It's a good show. All right, give ourselves a little bit more time. How are you guys doing?
Good. My superpower is not drawing.
That's okay. I think it's very few people who it is. It's certainly not my superpower. All right, I hope everyone at home is drawing along with us. I hope we get to see some of those home drawings later.
Yes, hopefully people will share them on our Instagram and in the comments, like share away if you drew some superhero pictures.
Yeah, hashtag solve it team. Oh, hopefully somebody's watching us. That's the goal. Okay, is everyone ready? Okay, who's ready to share first?
Should I? Okay.
Go ahead, Tia.
Like you're saying, drawing is not one of my powers, but bum, ba-da-bum.
That's
Um,
awesome.
Thanks. I did a stick figure, and it's me. But my main two, like superpowers, would be leadership and organization, because I feel like I'm sort of like a perfectionist, and I like to interact with people, and I guess I'm a kind of a leader. But yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah.
Who's up next?
Say maybe Zuri.
Yeah, sure. Here's mine. I do problem solving, thinking beyond the box. I do quick thinking and creativity.
Awesome.
Love it. All right, and Mia.
Sorry. Yeah. So I did that. I never give up. And another one of my superpowers would be that I like try really hard every time I do something, like even if I don't want to.
That's great.
Super important skills.
All right. I can share mine. Like I said, superpower is not drawing. So here's mine. So mine, I am really good at coming up with creative ideas and kind of encouraging and helping others come up with ideas. And then I bring a lot of energy to what I do, in part because I have like a kettlebell here from working out, and I'm holding a cup of coffee. So I have like enhancers of making me more energetic, which is working out and caffeine.
And that is also true. Kristen is my team leader. You guys are a team. We're on a team. She's my team leader, and she is all those things. She's been so great. Okay, now it's time for me to share my picture, and disclaimer, I totally drew it ahead of time because I was so nervous. So here's mine. It's me. I'm reading a book about how to fly while I'm flying because, well, I tend to learn on the job, I think. And I have my two kids riding on me because, you know, they're just always hanging off of me, I feel like. So that's mine.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. You guys all did a fantastic job. And I can tell now why you all make this like really unstoppable super team that works together so well. What I think we can do now is, Zuri, how about if you tell us a little bit about, kind of for the viewers, what your app is and what it does?
So our app is named Unstoppable. It is a motivational app that helps motivate kids like us to go exercise during this pandemic. And we have inspirational quotes and pictures that will help them like build up the strength to go outside. And we set like cool, inspiring reminders, like if you did something like this person will be happy. So you want to make that person happy. So yeah.
That's awesome. That's a really great idea. And Taya, could you maybe tell us a little bit about how you came up with that idea?
Well, we during COVID-19, we realized that lots of people that were normally really athletic, like went to soccer practice or volleyball practice, kind of lost the umph and confidence, so they don't want to get out. And even though they can be usually super athletic, they just like, okay, well, I don't have practice anymore, so I don't need to work out necessarily. But this app also helps with people who just need overall motivation with exercise. But we just thought of problems that have been going on, and we really just wanted to hit it. So I think the app really did do it. So I think we got to our goal with it.
Cool. And it sounds like something that's definitely something like I know I need when I'm stuck in the house. And so something like this just sounds so helpful. And it's awesome that you guys are targeting it towards kids that have probably a lot of energy, and they can't necessarily go outside and play and do all the things they're used to doing. So that's very, very cool. And at the beginning of the chat, when I opened up, I kind of mentioned that we'd be talking a lot about feedback today. And I think it was really clear, even in your introductions, that you guys have done a ton with feedback in all the different roles that you've had on your team. So Taya, could you maybe tell us how would you describe feedback? What is feedback to you?
I would describe feedback as a person's reaction or a person's words that can construct the way your team works or can improve your team. But sometimes it can be a little demotivated. Like it can make you a bit demotivated because like if they're like saying something and like it kind of like I don't know, you just kind of sometimes you're like, oh, that kind of hurts. But I think it definitely like you can kind of get that motivation back when you see your app like work together and after like all of your hard work. But we take in feedback and use it to improve our app. So we did a bunch of interviews with our family and friends, but yeah, I think feedback is one of the main things that we also put work into and all of our effort.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. And Mia, I think you said at the beginning that you did a lot on kind of the coding portion of Team Unstoppable. And so what were some of the things that you did to collect feedback and kind of make decisions about the app and what you were coding?
Yeah, so I'm on the climbing team, and so there's not many. So there's a bunch of climbers, but none of the gyms are open due to COVID-19. So I was talking to the head coach of like the whole thing, and he was saying that he would want to use this app. But so like when I first talked to him, we had a completely different app with like a buddy system that would like, and when like you would have a buddy that like looks at your pictures of you working out and then it'll like accept or decline. But then he said that that's not safe and he gave us a lot of feedback. And I mean, that was demotivating because like we had worked so hard on that. But then he's like, no, that won't work. And so that was like pretty demotivating. But then he gave us a bunch of like really cool ideas. And then it was like, okay, yeah, that's a good idea. And so then we implemented that. And then he's like, yeah, that's really good. Now try adding this. So I think feedback in that kind of way, like with physical features, is a really helpful thing because even if it like seems bad at the moment, like you feel like, oh my gosh, I worked so hard. Now he doesn't like it. Like I'm not listening to them. But because then that's probably going to help you in the future because like then you'll probably like, because if you fit it to what your users want, then you get a better app.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And it definitely can be hard to kind of hear some of those like kind of things that you were like, I've worked so hard on this and you don't like it. And how did you kind of come up with the different questions to ask your climbing coach?
So I kind of just thought about like what would be like critical in our app, and then I just asked him like, what do you think about this? Like do you think they would use it? Do you think it'll be helpful? Like do you think they would like it? And like you got kind of just have to you can't talk as the top person. You can't be like I made this and now like what do you think about it? Because that won't really help. You have to actually like think about like what the user will feel and like when they're looking at the app. Because like I mean, if I were to use it, I would be like, yeah, I made it, and then I would feel really great like inside. But then if somebody else could look at it, then they might be like, who made this? This is so bad. Like because I put the hard work in, or like we put the hard work in. But so I think that you should ask like, how do you think the user would feel or react to this app?
That's a really good point. Like the idea that even though you're the one creating it, you have to kind of get into the minds of the people that you want this to help. So you shouldn't be thinking about what you want unless you're who you're trying to target. You need to think about who do you want to use this app and what kinds of questions would you want to know from them to make it a better product. That's a really great. Are you sure you guys are as young as you say you are? I think you guys are much older than what you're saying.
I don't know. Mystery.
So another thing I thought was really interesting is Zuri, you had mentioned that you worked a lot on kind of how to get kids motivated and kind of in that reflection portion. Did you talk to kids as you were kind of working on your project, and how did you kind of make some changes, or what did you kind of alter based on your conversation?
So at the beginning, to start on the reflection, we had multiple interviews with our coaches and the kids who work with their coach. We had different questions of like, would you use this app if this happened? And they all like had pretty majority of them had the motivation they needed to work out at home. So we took that information that they had given us and then we used it on the reflection part and on the app in general. So the reflection questions were pretty like advanced, like they would have like different questions to like motivate them each time they actually work out and go to the app. So one of the questions was, how do you feel before and after the workout? And most of them would say good, and after they felt pretty good, but then some of the people who weren't motivated before would say, I was very demotivated, and after they would say, I was pretty motivated after. So we want to use that feedback and make it a bit better so they feel fully motivated after.
That makes a lot of sense. And did you kind of change any of your questions? Like as you were talking to different kids, did you change any of the questions or how you worded them?
Well, we wrote out a paper that had the questions listed out, and we gave them to them to like fill out and then give them back to us the next day. So, and then we had a list of all their answers, and we could use that feedback for the app.
Interesting. That's great. Um, and Taya, I think you had mentioned kind of, in a previous conversation that you had joined the team kind of after Zuri and Mia had already formed. So as someone kind of new coming in and kind of looking at what they were working on, what kind of feedback did you bring when you kind of joined the team as a new kind of fresh set of eyes?
I did come a little bit late because Mia like told me about it later on, and I thought it was pretty cool. So I joined, and they told me that they wanted they had like this main idea, but it was kind of like, I don't want to be rude, but it was like kind of scattered. So I feel like I came to the table and I said, okay, well, how about let's try this? So I just was like, as a user, I kind of, because I felt like in the first like week, I felt like my eyes were like a set of the users. So like I was like a user that was coming up to the table and I could be like, oh, like I actually gave them that perspective that could improve the app. So once we like were as together as a team, we could kind of get like grasp a good idea of reality, and yeah, we just kind of put it together, and we finally reached the overall exercising motivation. But yeah.
Was there, like, when you came in and you kind of had these ideas, did you kind of share your ideas, like your feedback in a certain way, or were you kind of careful how you worded things, knowing that like you're coming in new and so maybe you were a little nervous?
Oh yeah, definitely. I was very, very nervous, and I didn't want to seem too like pushy and like, okay, I'm gonna come into this. Okay, I got this. I didn't want to seem too like overconfident, but I felt like I was super excited for it. I had like a pad of like paper of like my ideas. But and I think that yeah, I mean I definitely like I don't know, but it's definitely, I was very nervous, but I kind of pushed it aside, and I recommended it, but I know that they've gone with like they've done like a bunch of work, and I don't want to like done side and say, okay, I have this idea, let's do this. But I kind of just eased it in, and like maybe like we could like do this instead of that, and changed apps that and also I think that all of our personalities fit, make the team like so unique, and that we can work together so well. And you might have seen in the pitch video, because we all just really flow together well. But I think it was really nice because it was new and fresh and just like a change, which I think is good. But yeah.
That's great. And maybe Mia, like how did it work having Taya come in and kind of share new ideas as kind of that user, and kind of how did that work then when you guys were sitting down and thinking, okay, what changes might we want to make, or how might we want to change things based on these new perspectives?
Yeah, I think it was really interesting to have like a new person, just because we had like multiple like iterations. Like our first app was a cultural discrimination app. And so we were going to do something that like informs different people about like cultural discrimination. But then we like kind of thought about it. It's like this is like, how is we don't have like much experience with this problem. Then like the shutdown happened. Then we're all really athletic people. And so then I think when Taya came in, so before Taya, we were working on the app where it would like help kids get ready for their practice like over the break, and to like get stronger and things like that. But then Taya came in, and then she kind of brought these new ideas with like so she acted like a user, like a lot like she was talking about. And so then she kind of like brought this an idea, and then we thought about it. Like she said that we should put in some motivation, and then we were like thinking about that because our app didn't have any like thing that motivated anybody, and like I'm not that motivated to work out, and so that app wouldn't actually like work on many people, like because there's not that many people like on my team who are actually motivated. So then we like started putting in videos. We put in like the top 10 scores of the app. We put in like all these like points that you get. And so that, I think that was like one thing that Taya really brought into the app.
That's great. And Zuri, how, I know you guys had talked about getting kind of difficult feedback too, whether it was within your team or when you were talking to people outside your team. How did you feel when you maybe got feedback that wasn't so positive, and how did you kind of overcome that feeling of maybe demotivation?
So, of course, it was very demotivating because we worked hard to develop the idea for it to get shut down. But from the shutdown, we came up with new ideas that were like it, but with the improvements that it needed to become safe and like that stuff. And we kept doing that every time we got shut down on an idea to make our app better.
That's great. And I guess for all of you, is there any other advice that you have for viewers that are watching, maybe thinking about how to get feedback for either a project they're working on or even just for themselves?
Yeah, I think one thing about like feedback, you're gonna get some positive feedback that like praise you, like, oh my gosh, you worked so hard, I love this app and I'm using it like right away. But you're also gonna get these feedback that's gonna be like, I can't use this isn't gonna work for me, like no, there's like no way I can do this, like. And then you're gonna have to like be able to like build yourself back up from that. You just have to like think about that. And like for me, when the climbing coach said that, he was like, I mean, he said it in a nice way, but it's still like you've worked so hard, and you feel like, oh, I don't want to listen to him because he's just not being nice to me. But what you have to do is you have to like actually like take a break from it and be like, and then you have to like think about it and be like, yeah, that actually would work. You have to like actually analyze it, because I mean, his feedback is probably actually good, but you just don't want to listen to it. So you have to like take a break and then like don't give up and listen to all of the feedback you get, because even if it seems demotivating at the point, it could actually like really help build your app to like the best it can be.
That's
Yeah.
awesome, Mia.
I would say that number one, try new things with your app, be creative and think out of the box. Also, like, this is kind of just overall, just don't take it personally when people give you feedback that's demotivating. They're being honest, so you can take that honest feedback, and because you're not going to improve and you're not going to succeed if someone says, oh, this is amazing, yeah, let's do it. And you want to have that feedback that you can work from it. So once you hit like the bottom, there's only one way to go, and that's up. And that feedback is kind of like a way to project that, I guess. But yeah.
So for number 1, you're going to have to take demotivating, honest feedback to improve your app. And number 2, you can never take the easy way out. So you can't take the elevator, you have to take the stairs to make something very good. And that's what we kind of did. So, yeah.
Wow, that's all great advice. Again, you guys all make me think that you are much, much older than what you're saying you are. But I guess the final kind of big question is, what's next for your team? Where do you guys go from here? You have your app submitted to Technovation, to the challenge. What's next?
I think one really big step for like probably me is it would probably be like publish it to the climbing team, like because our app because we've been talking to them so much that I feel like our app is like perfect for them because we got all like half of our feedback from them, and so it's like customized to like what the users want and to what like they would use. So I think we should put it into the climbing team and then hopefully the app store.
So like Mia said, we're probably thinking about developing it a bit better to put it on the App Store so a bunch of kids can actually notice the app and use it to become very motivated to exercise during this hard time.
Yeah, I think our future plans after this, we can take all that we've learned and apply it. I know that I'm going to apply it to like my everyday life. But I also think that we should definitely publish it to an app store. I think we could also I think that we should also just get the word out so people can we can grow. But I just think that we should just keep going and like we can still do like coding, but I think it's definitely something new that's always gonna like have that memory in my life. But yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic, guys. Thanks so much for sharing today and for joining us and helping everyone who's tuning in to learn a little bit more about feedback and how to like deal with it, the good and the bad, right? To make better products, to be better people. And for all of you viewers out there, tune in on Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Universal Time for the next Solve It Team series episode. And we're going to be talking with or continuing actually our conversation with Natalie Cook, 5-time Olympian and gold medalist, a little bit more about how to build your dream team, just like Team Unstoppable. Thanks so much, girls.
You guys are so
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.